Ms. Buffalo?
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. I'm Ruth Buffalo, the President and CEO of the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, a direct service provider serving Native women and families, many of whom are citizens and enrolled members of federally recognized tribes. When people talk about the Department of Homeland Security's immigration and customs enforcement, the conversation is usually political or legal. Well, I'm here to share that this is also an economic stability and public safety issue for Minnesota. And I want to be very clear, it does not matter if you have a tribal ID or tribal enrollment papers. It is being disregarded and not honored. Our community is witnessing citizens and tribal members being detained and harassed. Because of this, I now tell my husband and children not to leave the house unless they absolutely have to. This is not only a civil rights issue, it is a tribal sovereignty and constitutional governance issue. Tribal nations are sovereign governments recognized by the Constitution, treaties, and Supreme Court precedent. And the federal government has a trust responsibility to protect tribal nations and their citizens. Minnesota's systems depend on recognizing tribal citizenship. When tribal IDs are ignored, that represents a breakdown in lawful government-to-government relationships and the rule of law. At Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, we have gone into several shelter-in-place and lockdowns because of the Department of Homeland Security immigration and customs enforcement activity near our building. We have closed our doors due to safety concerns and nearby use of force by federal agents. During extreme cold, we opened our emergency warming center to protect our most vulnerable who are being targeted. We now operate knowing that we are all targets. Federal agents have frequented the streets outside of our building. Elderly women walking to us for services have been harassed. We have also had individuals enter our warming center posing as unsheltered people or volunteers, warning that ICE was coming to warming centers and that they are here for the ice storm. Because of this well-orchestrated climate of fear, our clients are missing critical services. When we close or lock down, families miss support, housing help, and care. As a result, more families and individuals are hungry, more are at risk of eviction, and the mental health impact, especially on children, is severe. That trauma has long-term economic costs. When workers disappear from jobs, businesses lose trained employees and productivity. The costs don't disappear. They shift to the state and counties through housing instability, child protection, and emergency systems. This is not a moral issue. It is a fiscal responsibility issue. I urge you to pursue policies that protect community stability, workforce continuity, and prevent Minnesota from inheriting the long-term costs of federal disruption. Thank you. Madzigadadz.